what you eat. A woman just won a lawsuit over a poppy seed bagel. It happened to be my favorite. Now, her newborn was taken away from her after she failed a hospital drug test. Now, she claimed that a poppy seed bagel she ate shortly before arriving at the hospital caused a positive test for drugs. With us now, criminal defense attorney Courtney Pilchman and attorney Domenic Romano here in studio. Domenic, let's start with you. Is it possible she took something else and she's just using the bagel as backup?
It's possible, but the error here was the county child services. They didn't ask her other questions, and her claim is that that's all she did, had this bagel right before childbirth. So her 3-day-old baby was taken away from her for 5 days because of it.
Courtney, you know, Domenic and I were talking earlier. I could name a bunch of parents who should have their kids taken away from them. I'm not sure this woman is one of them.
No, she's not. And quite frankly, if that were my child and I was the mother, they would have had to pay me a lot more money than what they ended up paying out, because that is outrageous to take an infant from their mother in those very important days when there's bonding and nurturing and feeding. I mean, that's incredible that they were so incompetent. It's outrageous.
So, Domenic, does she have more of a case here? Can she go further with this? I mean, because, you know, there are people that take drugs all over this city with children, and they seem to still have their kids.
Probably. I mean, the issue was the hospital, Jameson Hospital, had a higher standard than the federal standard is. I think it's 200 nanoparticles per milliliter. So the hospital had 300 as their benchmark. So really, the hospital was being extra diligent. It's got a great reputation, but the child services people swept in. They didn't conduct their due diligence properly, it sounds like, didn't ask the right questions, and took this child away for, you know, not an insignificant amount of time.
Not at all. All right, let's move on to this next story, because I think this is a really interesting debate. So Pennsylvania Hospital is basically saying, if you're a smoker, you cannot work here. I don't know, Courtney, what I do on my time, is it any of their business?
Not at all. I mean, talk about the slippery slope. I mean, what's going to be next? They're going to want to know what fast foods we go to, what kind of alcoholic beverages we may be drinking, how fast we're driving on the freeway. I mean, I'm in Southern California, and I'll tell you, walking outside and breathing in the air is unhealthy for me. So I don't know the motivation, quite frankly, behind why they're doing that. But I tell you, if it's a cost-cutting measure, they're going to lose big time on the lawsuits tenfold for what they might be saving.
Well, the motivation is clear. The motivation is you don't want hypocrisy in your healthcare workers. You don't want to be telling patients you shouldn't smoke, and then you're going home or they ask you, do you smoke? Well, not on the hospital, but I smoke at home. The Cleveland Clinic has had a similar policy, as I understand it, since 2007. Since 2007, the Cleveland Clinic has been doing this, not hiring smokers. And in fact, they've shown that even some people who apply to it, they've found that as incentive to stop smoking. So there's not just financial consideration here. It's also, these are healthcare professionals. Yes, there's a cost. It costs money. But at the end of the day, do we want hospitals to spend money on healthcare, on their own workers, or
I get what he's saying, people? Courtney, but, I was a fitness instructor back in college to pay the bills, and I will be the first person to tell you I went home and had ice cream at night. So I was, a hypocrite back then, but I thought I taught pretty good aerobic classes.
Did your students come to your home and see what you were eating in the evening? Did you tell them, hey, by the way, last night I ate a gallon of chocolate chip ice cream?
No, I kept that to myself.
Right, I mean, no one's going to find out.
But it's 2013. I mean, only 1 in 5 Americans still smoke. But
so, what if, we talked earlier, what if I smoke e-cigarettes, those electronic cigarettes? Well, I could smoke those in the supply closet at a hospital. You wouldn't even know I'm smoking them, Courtney.
Right. What if you smoke medical marijuana? What if you have a need, a need for something like that? I mean, are they going to outlaw that or ban that from the hospitals? It's outrageous. It's frankly, it's stupid.
Let me ask you both this before we wrap up. Domenic, do you think we're going to see more of this?
We are already seeing more of this. It's going across the country. Certain states like Missouri actually allow, as I understand it, healthcare industries and hospitals to be exempt from the rule that they can make this discriminatory determination.
Courtney, what do you think? Do you think that people are going to have, legally, companies are going to be allowed to get away with this?
No, wait till the lawsuits. And when they're paying billions of dollars out to all these, individuals who are being denied work privileges, they're going to stop doing the nonsense.
Courtney, Domenic, is good stuff. Thank you so much. And no, I wasn't going to tell my students that I ate a half-gallon ice cream, but apparently now they all know. You guys have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.